What is going on, guys? We're back with another video, and of course, some more Madden. Well, not more Madden 19 news, but I've been asked by a few people to go through all the Madden 19 franchise stuff that we know about. Of course, you could find this. I probably put this on the top line of the description, but you can find this exact page and more stuff on the side about Madden 19, I suppose. But of course, franchise is the big thing that I'm interested in. I will be more interested in Ultimate Team as well, but for right now, I have looked through all of this. But we will go through every single thing in their post, which, to be fair, there is quite a bit. And we will go through that, what I think it means, what I think about it. But yeah, I mean, let's go right into it. So this whole first thing right here, the first paragraph kind of throws all of it at you at one point. They're throwing all these different things in here. But the first thing is the player archetype progression, which is a completely new thing. And I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'll just be 100% honest, but you don't upgrade your player traditionally anymore from what I have gathered. So you can see right here, so you're looking, let's say, basically the way this looks like to me is that you're not able to just make anyone the way you want anymore. So you can see here, a great example is Matt Ryan might be an 88 overall West Coast, but only a 78 overall scrambler because, of course, he doesn't have speed, acceleration, or, a juke ability or any ball carrier moves, that maybe Deshaun Watson has, of course. So it's kind of dumbing it down a little bit. That's what I think it is personally, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Maybe it'll be easier to upgrade players, but you can see here there's an example. You have 4 different types, which every player will have 2 to 4. So maybe a defensive tackle would have bulldozer and finesse move or something. I don't know if that's what they'll call it, but you get what I'm saying. So each of those little types, these little bars, will upgrade different things. So scrambler might upgrade probably speed or acceleration. Like here, maybe we have some examples. The West Coast upgrade 1 play action, deep accuracy, and 2 short. So you can see if you got a second skill point, you could receive 1 play action, short accuracy, and throw power. So you're not really able to just kind of fiend. So you're a guy that loves to throw mid and short, and you don't care about deep. You might not be able to do that, even though, ironically, I think short and mid are kind of tied together. But it's going to be interesting because most players probably will be aiming towards the speed or the throw power. So it's going to be interesting to see how that is balanced. So they have the exact list of all the types, which is interesting. But you can see here, every single time you upgrade a guy, it gives them an overall upgrade. So every single time, which makes it very interesting. Maybe you're not going to see those 99 everything types anymore, or if it takes a while as well. The question is, how do you get a skill point? That's what I want to know, because obviously XP is very it's interesting because unless you get XP, which leads to a skill point. So earn skill points by acquiring enough XP so yeah, you do. So you level up, and that level up will give you a skill point, kind of like a traditional RPG type game, which is kind of cool, I suppose. Obviously, your XP will go the same way. It's just you don't upgrade the same, so that's interesting. So you have strong arm, scrambler, West Coast field end, general. You have a power back, elusive back, and receiving back. So obviously, you would assume receiving back would have the catching stats. Elusive back, maybe elusiveness, cut move, and spin. Power back's interesting because you're not going to be able to upgrade both at the same time. Utility and blocking, so that's a little interesting. Then you have the different wide receiver types. You have the tight end types. What about D-line? I wanted to see if I was hoping there was going to be a bulldozer one, but of course not. So there's an agile type for an offensive lineman. So power, I would assume. So agile, I would assume, would be run blocking, kind of. And then power would be strength and maybe impact. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see how they're going to do this. You have a zone safety is to be hybrid. So you would assume that would maybe be speed and man coverage or something. I don't know, something weird. I don't know. So just obviously we'll have to find out when the game comes out. But I will say it's interesting. Let me know what you guys think. This is clearly, in my opinion, the biggest, not even really in my opinion, the biggest change by far. The biggest game changer, as the kids call it, without a doubt. And it's going to be interesting to see how that affects us. So ironically enough, they seem to try to make this easier while they just completely slap on another new thing, which makes it so much harder, in my opinion. You have coach scheme fits now, and you can see that schemes actually matter. I don't know if I can zoom in on this, but what this says is players within 3 overall points of the preferred player type will increase the scheme percentage fit. As you can see right here, I'm not sure what the scheme percentage fit totally means. Maybe it'll show us in a second. Players of the perfect scheme fit match will earn extra XP in weekly training. How much? Do not know. But of course, apparently it is important to keep your scheme fit very high. There will be icons that tell you, if it's the type of player. It seems pretty obvious though to me. The question is though, how is this going to fit with certain, like, how is a wide receiver or tight end going to fit into the West Coast style? How does that really, are they going to go that in depth, or are they going to be like, all right, the scheme fit only matters for linebackers and pass rushers and quarterbacks and running backs or something? That's what I want to know. I also want to know, are they going to go really in depth? Are they actually going to make the scheme types proper? We've seen in the past where a power back will have, in the draft scouting process, he'll have a B- truck, a B- stiff, and then he'll have like 80s in the other stats. So they might say power type, but they're not really a power type. So is that going to screw you? Are you going to be able to change that? That's really what I want to know. Quarterback will now get bonus XP in training because he is a scheme fit. So this XP seems to be a big deal. I was watching Not the Expert's video, and I'm not sure maybe if he misspoke or he just assumed or just maybe doesn't know a whole lot about it, but it seemed as if he said that not having a proper scheme fit will make them perform not as well. Maybe he was just trying to make it seem cooler, which, to be fair, I mean, a lot of this is still some of it, even though he was on there, it's all speculation too. There's still speculation about what could happen because the game's not out yet. I think he did a great job. I will probably also have the top or second line of the description. Definitely take a look at that. Amazing videos, obviously. And I don't know if it mentions here, if it does matter. Like you can see here, it's definitely about development. That's the big thing here. It's scheme fit, better XP. That's basically what it is. Will that affect actual play style or play success? I have no clue. My personal guess is literally just XP. So it's going to definitely make you want to draft the players for your scheme, or maybe get a coach for the scheme you like. Then if here, the #1 requested feature by the community is here. I can see that for sure. Hopefully our league for, I don't know if it's going to be called Legacy next year, but hopefully don't go too hardcore and download thousands of different rosters every season. But you can see, of course, you can get ready to create and share draft classes using Madden Share. So the classic, if you want those real-life rookies for next year, bam, you can do that. So very interesting. When scouting starts in week 3 of the regular season, you'll be prompted to either use an auto-generated class or download a class. I do not remember the last time they had that. It was a couple of Maddens ago. They definitely did have that at some point. You can also download and import anytime scouting is available, even if it's later in the season. That's pretty cool. So if your guys are like, you know what, it's week 15, this class is terrible, let's get some new guys in here. Wouldn't surprise me if that's going to happen quite a bit as well. And here it says, creating and sharing a draft is easy. Now, I will debate that creating part. So if you edit the current class, then you will be taken to a spreadsheet that reveals everything about the 450 players. So you can edit the actual current class as well. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem in our league. Once again, like I said, you can see here you have got all the players right here. Let's see if there's any interesting players here. You see a wide receiver. He's very fast, like insanely fast. I don't know if that's an edited. Looks like fast receivers are going to be a common thing again, just from this little class thing. Here we go, another one. So we do have a draft class editor menu. A transaction log item is sent so the other people in your league know. So if you were to try to cheese it potentially, everyone in the league knows if you've been editing or whatnot. So that's kind of a cool thing to see. And of course, it goes into talking about most downloaded classes and all that. So pretty similar stuff we've already experienced with downloading rosters and whatnot. So we have depth chart positions. Your team now has a specialist selection. So apparently they're going a little bit more in depth with the rosters, with depth charts, which is really cool in my opinion. You can see third down halfbacks and power halfbacks. So that's really cool. You can see that you have different substitutions and different, guys come on the field according to, or different guys are in different positions on the lineup according to what scheme you might be running or what formation you're running, which I think is pretty cool. Your slot corner will be the best players on your team using the slot corner overall. So, I mean, very in-depth. So, power halfback, so you can pretty much have it where if you're in goal line, he'll always come out on the field, heavy sets. I really like that. I really got some love as well. The CPU will never have a starting running back, wide receiver, corner, or safety as a kick returner. The CPU will use starters to return punts if they're kick returning range. Okay, that's pretty cool. So they got a little bit more in depth with trying to make it as realistic as possible, depth chart wise for the AIs as well. So we also have I'm not saying it's a MUT thing, but there's kind of like a MUT type thing. 11 fresh ratings have been added to help differentiate players and bring to life the archetype system. For example, the new run block finesse and pass block finesse ratings will be featured on agile alignment. Meanwhile, power alignment will rely on the new run block power and pass block power move. So there's that's very interesting. So this isn't quite what I wanted. As you can see here, this isn't the traits thing. I really wanted to see in-depth traits, kind of like the MUT chemistries, but you can see here there is a break tackle, determines broken tackle success for ball carriers versus standard tackles. So I think, I actually can tell if this is a defensive or an offensive one. You'd think it was a defensive one, right? It's got to be an offensive. Determines whether the quarterback will escape a sack inside the pocket. So I'm just interested because these must be like the random ones they'll throw in. Because like I said, you can't individually upgrade anymore. So these will slide in with the little type you're using. Throw under pressure determines passing accuracy when under pressure. Run block power determines success for... So they're getting very in-depth. Nothing really too insane here, obviously. We're unleashing the power of Frostbite in franchise with the addition of immersive environments. Honestly, I think it's cool to see something new, but since it's just going to be a still image, it's not going to be crazy. Not going to be crazy. I like to see, that they're working on things, and then you can, apparently you can see this gallery option. It would appear that you might be able to change the background, but as you can see, it's kind of cool. If your coach won a Super Bowl, you'll see a trophy. Head to the locker room environment and interact with your players. I think that's actually pretty cool, to be fair. In addition, you'll experience the NFL draft in Madden in a brand new way. Draft Stage presents which team is on the clock and who the previous pick was on giant video boards in front of a crowd. When it's time to make your pick, your draftee will be sporting his new uniform while his ratings and development trait are revealed. Of course, you can see technically a new development trait. From what I've heard, it is normal, quick, star, and superstar. At least that's what I'm pretty sure I remember from Not the Experts video. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't think this will slow down the draft process anytime either. It's just a completely different screen. You can see the ratings if you click right bumper, player archetypes. So is there not traits anymore? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So you can hear another kind of minimal update, but it's still cool to see new things. There is a Snapshots, which will, most of them, I'm pretty sure all of them, will be automatically saved. So let's say you throw a 50-yard bomb, double coverage catch for a touchdown. That'll probably be saved, and you'll be able to, well, not even just be able to, but they'll slap it in the background, which I think is kind of cool. You can take your own snapshots as well. You can hold up to 100 snapshots from the league. Snapshots are everywhere. Even the main menu of Madden shows your most recent snapshots, which is pretty cool. Another small update, but kind of cool. You got team captains. You can you got up to 6 captains per team. So, let's say you got a 75 overall rookie quarterback. You don't want him as the captain, or maybe you do want him as the captain. You could do that, which is, it doesn't prove anything. It's just a captain logo, and that's pretty much it. But here's a big one. Let's take a look. So, regression. At the end of each season, players regress based on their age and development trait. This year, the regression is much more dynamic, meaning that each rating will have a unique chance of going down. High development trait players regress slower than other players, which pretty much means good dev actually does matter a bit more this year. And the age at which players at different positions, their regression has been adjusted as well. This means that high caliber players have a better chance of extending their careers and climbing their way up the legacy leaderboard. So I think that's a pretty cool factor. I think it's cool to see that dev does matter. You know, a great example is in our legacy league, we have Killebrew, who is a 29-year-old strong safety, probably top 5, top 10 in the league, 90 plus overall, but he has slow dev, so he's going to go down a bit more than a guy like Cam Chancellor probably would, which I think is cool. Also, it appears that overalls might play a factor. As you can see, the better players do regress slower, it seems. So this is going to be a big factor, especially for our user league. As you can see, you have dynamic dev trait, which I think there was a little bit touched on last year. Sometimes you would get an upgrade in dev because you won offensive player of the year or player of the week, and if you won offensive rookie of the year, you get a dev, or if you did really poorly, you would go down. But here it's saying obviously normal, quick, star, and superstar. Slow dev has been removed, and those are the traits. It's harder to get superstar this year than in past Maddens, or past years anyways. There are only a few superstars per position, which makes them difficult to get, but the traits change more frequently. So we're going into this, and I'll give you what my opinion is. Maybe it's obvious, but at the end of the season, each player is evaluated on how well they did compared to the rest of the league. Their performance will result in their development trait going up, down, or staying the same. And then you can see here, which is very interesting. Want to see if maybe, obviously we're going to have to wait till the game comes out, but I want to see if this actually does hold true. But superstars need to perform at a consistently high level and be statistical leaders in order to hold on to their precious superstar trait. Furthermore, we have made rookie superstars extremely rare as part of our generated classes. They're the ultimate reward of the scouting and draft process. So that is exciting and terrifying as hell. So it seems like it's a relay race almost, where some people will be passing the baton over. You got, I don't know, Earl Thomas playing at a high level, probably starts with superstar. Plays for really well year one, keeps his superstar dev, but let's say next year, two safeties, more tackles than him, more picks than him, maybe they steal his superstar dev and he drops. I think that's really cool. Like I said, it's also scary as hell because at the end of the day, in a user league, you'd have someone cheesing and they end up stealing the dev off you, basically. I mean, I don't know if there's a threshold. I don't know if it's actually going to go that deep. Like, if my guy gets 5 picks, let's say my guy gets 10 picks on a season, there's 10 other guys that get 12 picks. Is my guy really going to go down? My guy still had an amazing season. It's just so did some other guys. Do you really go down? Because it says according to the other players. You see right here how compared to the rest of the league. So that's very interesting to see how they handle that, because like I said, you got to go really in depth with this. You can't think of somebody that's playing they're playing as their own team versus the CPUs. Completely different scenario than a user league where you're going to have maybe 10, 15 users that get a guy with 10 plus picks because their users are on point. Or the quarterbacks where every quarterback's going to throw 30 picks or more. So it's going to be an interesting one. I really like the fact that they seem to be putting a lot of effort into franchise. I think that's really cool. I don't think I'll do a video on anything other than franchise unless there's something insane about MUT, because really there's nothing that they're going to add to MUT. Got long shot. I'm really not interested in long shot, to be honest. Didn't even finish last year's. But let me know what you guys think of the franchise videos, of course. Franchise videos, the franchise upgrades or updates. I mean, they're definitely changing it. Can't say they aren't. Now, is it a good move? Is it the future? I wouldn't know. Wouldn't know. But I appreciate them working on the game. So good on you, EA. Changing it up quite a bit, actually. Didn't see anything about draft picks being more valuable, though, which is, I think, something they should do. But, hey, maybe this will counter that. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I really want to know your guys' opinion or opinions on this. I'm sorry this was late, because I think this blog has been out for weeks now. But I didn't really, I thought everyone was just going to read their thing, but I didn't think anyone wanted to hear. Okay, this was not posted 2 days ago, unless they updated it 2 days ago, maybe. But, yeah, I just wanted, I didn't think anyone wanted to hear what my opinions were, and here they are. Once again, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I'm thinking about making a second channel for non-Madden content. Let me know what you guys think, what games I should play on there if I do make it, and more importantly, what the name should be. I've got a couple ideas. I might have a poll up if I'm feeling confident. But anyways, Sorry, no rebuild or reload this week, but we'll have another reload or rebuild on Thursday. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching as always, and hopefully you come back for next video. But until next video, see